Hi guys, welcome to episode 12 of the Directly. I'm Maite. Today's episode is brought to you by me, Sofiane, Agathe, and Aris. Those last two names, including mine, are probably not so familiar, and that's normal because we are the new admins of the Directly. And for our first episode on this podcast before Louis' second album release, we wanted to focus on the lyric analysis and focus on closeted and Larry songs. Recently, we have added new members to the podcast: Maite, Agathe, Aris, Say, Madison, and Jay. And some of them are in this episode, but don't worry, at some point you will get to know all of them in the future episodes. Their socials will be posted on Twitter later today for the ones that are comfortable.
This week's shout out at Lights Up for the Brave 28, Sean, for some amazing ideas and different things that we will talk about in this episode. And this was inspired by their TikToks. So, as we talked about in the introduction, this week's podcast and just episode will be about lyrics analysis and just it will be also focused on some songs that are about like closeting or Larry in general. And so at first we wanted to talk about songs that are about the discovery of like Louis and Harry as queer artists. So they are like tons of songs about it. You'll see, like, if you could see just what like everything that we wrote, it's really long. But just to start off, I think that like Light Up, as it seems like pretty obvious, is about just like, you know, coming out and just being really comfortable in your body. And there's like one of the first songs that Harry did like as a like solo artist, and obviously you can already see that he has way more power than he had in One Direction, even if, like, you know, it is only the beginning of his journey, but you can still see it through the lyrics and the video itself. Like, yeah, I don't know if it talks to you guys, but I feel like it is a really good song about queerness, identity.
And also, like, it came out on National Coming Out Day, which was really, really loud. And the story with me and Lights Up, so I was just really, I really liked Harry, but I was not in the fandom when it came out. And so when Lights Up came out, the music video, I was like, oh my God, it just came out as Buzz. That's so cool. It just came out. And I was like, I remember I posted on my story on Instagram, like, oh, that's the best way to come out. And then like years later, I was like, what is not out? Like, for me, it was so obvious. Like, it was being touched by men and women. I was like, oh, that's so cool to do It's Coming Out as way on this day. And so if people still think it's straight after seeing that, I was like, what the fuck?
That's the thing, is like, when you tell someone you like Harry Styles, their immediate like response is, oh, the gay one. Like,
yeah.
You what?
Yeah.
What?
And then you just have to explain to them, like, yes, but like not
yes, but
exactly.
no, but yes.
Yeah.
Like, go into 10 years of absolute law. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, Lights Up talks to me like in a like special way, if you will, because when it came out, the song, I mean, I was also kind of figuring out my sexuality and whatever. So I saw the video and I was like, what the fuck? That was my full reaction with the video. And I remember talking to a friend and she was like, yeah, it's similar to what we already talked about, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of a, I think it's, if you show it to anyone who is part of the community, I think they will kind of connect to the song specifically because of the music beat in general. I know.
Yeah, no, because
I agree.
I remember having to explain to a class, because they were doing a PowerPoint presentation of like celebrities you didn't know were like allies, and they put Harry Styles in there, and I was sort of like, did you guys even watch the Lights Up music video? like did you watch it? Like, that man is not simple. Like he is an ally, but that's not all he is. Like, is it
Yeah.
not that obvious?
Yeah, I definitely think Lights Up is the kind of song and, music video that it's like you can be literally anyone and you can just see that that's not a straight person. Like, it's very, like, it speaks to a lot of different audiences, I think, because it's like, as a queer person, it obviously, like, you can relate to it, but then as a straight person, it's just like you just see where it's not straight, because it, like, of I mean, if you've seen the video, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
He's
Completely.
leaning like the way he's leaning with his eyes closed towards half naked men.
Yeah.
Like that's not an ally. And also he did like the whole promo of this song was do you know
Do
who
you
you
know who you are?
Yes.
And you
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
ask this question for another topic than your sexuality or your gender. Like, do you know who you are? Like you're human, so you can't say anything else than oh I'm bi or oh I'm gender fluid or something like that.
It's
So it
a
was
very
already so loud.
yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
statement song. Like
Yeah.
it was a single for a reason. Like it was sort of like a here it is. Like I need you all to buck up and listen.
Yeah.
Mm.
I also, I don't know if anyone like remembers this, but you know how there was like the website where you can put in a name and it would
Oh,
give
yeah.
you like, you know what I'm talking about, where it would
Yeah.
say what was it called, like, do you know who you are, is that what it was called, or
Yeah,
something?
it was. I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone remembers when there was a point for, like, I don't remember how many days it was, but it was really not that long. But if you put in Larry, it would say the same thing every time, and it would be like, I can't remember what it said. I think I have a screenshot of it from, like, when it actually came out, but it was like is real or is something. And
Yeah.
I feel like that being part of the whole Lights Up thing, when that's literally like a queer screaming song, is just like really big.
Yeah.
Yeah, also,
Yes.
the whole promo for this song, like, I mean, we already talked about it a bit, but the question, do you know who you are, is the one question everybody who's questioning themselves makes.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You make question yourself that,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
do you know who you are? So, because, I mean, it's
It's a
like
journey.
yeah.
Yeah, it is a journey. Like, I mean, being a queer artist also means like, most of the time people that are queer, like you say that it is a queer identity. Like, it is a part of your identity being queer,
Mhm.
and just like having this gender and sorry, and most of the time, like, yeah, just as you said, Aries. I think it takes some time to discover who you are, and especially when you have like a different kind of sexuality or a different gender, it is a moment where you will just like do an introspection of who you were. Like, even if you knew who you were before, now it just like questions everything, and like now you don't know who you were again, which is basically
Exactly.
the thing that it talks.
And another thing
Yes.
that comes into play with that is the whole, again, like denial and self-hate, which again is not a thing I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
think a lot of people understand.
Mhm.
Like a lot of people don't know who they are because they don't want to be the person that they think they might be. And again, it's a journey of having to sort of accept it within yourself, to sort of be like, this is who I am, and I've just got to embrace it. And if people don't like it, then they don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I feel like it is the case for a copy of a copy of a copy of Louis, which like is a like the same kind of journey, but also is like just as you said, like can be a journey that is like difficult for some people, and like it mainly talks about like Hushy crying, dry your tears away. Like yeah, it is mainly about because like you don't know who you are and you're lost in this world and just like don't understand where's your place.
And like in a way also you can kind of link Out of My System to it as well in some respects. Like the lyrics, it's almost like the end of the journey and just wanting to be out there, because that's kind of how I interpreted it. Because like it's a bit I only want to go faster towards disaster every time, because obviously once you get to the end and you like everyone knows, they're all sort of like, oh, and you're not really sure how to interpret what the ending might be, and it could be disaster or it could be a great thing. And yeah, I mean we can brush up on that song later, but
But just about Lights Up also, the fact like, so he always asked, do you know who you are? And then he said, step into the light. So basically, show yourself and accept yourself and don't be afraid to show who you are. Like, step into the light, let other people know who you are, you know? I mean, I
precisely.
interpret it that way. And you have this part when he's in all blue and he's under big lights, like at night in the music video. And also Lights Up, I feel like it was at the beginning of the Europe tour. Lights Up was a song where he was putting up the pride flag, and like it was not Treat People with Kindness, it was more Lights Up. Like I
Yeah.
remember in Manchester
Yeah.
it was this way. And yeah, it was, yeah, the flag was there every time I lights up. So
Yeah,
for me.
I agree, and I think like going along with that, like lights show what is really there, you know, and so
What
it's
is
Mhm.
like
hiding? Yeah.
talking about
Mhm.
light. It's like, yeah, like step into the light, like so you can see what's really there, because in the
Yeah.
darkness, you can hide things in the dark, but you can't hide anything in the light because that's it. It shows, you know, again, like what's really there. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
you're
don't.
on display for the world to see.
Yeah, exactly.
And also it's like he's coming out of the closet because the closet obviously is very dark. So he opens the door of the closet and then it's stepping into the light.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
sad.
definitely. Like another song I also wanted to talk about was She, which I
Oh
think,
my god, yes.
yeah, like so many people talked about it, and like I know that a lot of people are analyzing this song because like that is so interesting to just choose like this kind of metaphor to just explain the way your gender works. Like yeah, like use another human being. Like she lives in the daydreams with me. Yeah, and some people just think that it's a really crazy like analysis of the song, which I
Yeah.
don't follow because like it just seems so logical. Like in my
Mm.
yeah, in my mind, just it yeah, it feels really normal to just see it that way. I don't know
What
if
yeah.
Like what? Sorry, you wanted to talk?
I
Sorry,
was
I
just
just cut
I was
you.
just gonna say like what made me laugh the most was like people only recently like figuring out like especially on TikTok. And
Oh yeah.
it was mainly the solos sort of being like, oh my god, this is actually what's the song about, as if we hadn't been talking about it for
Yeah.
the past like 2 years.
Yeah.
Yes. No, like actually what's like obviously for me is the same, like it's the most logical way just because of, you know, the lyrics, why he plays pretend and everything. But what really seals the deal for me is I was watching Troye Sivan stories on Instagram. So he's
Love that
a
man.
yeah,
Real.
and basically was, you know, answering question and everything. And someone instead of saying you as a gay man, he said she, and that's when I learned that actually gay men between them, it's like, oh, what is she doing like this afternoon? That's basically mean, what are you doing? You know, like is they're talking about at the like is someone else, but
Yeah.
as she. And also we know that Nick Grimshaw talked about Harry using the she pronoun. So I think like it's a very gay thing to do. But like I'm not a gay man, so I don't want to talk for them. But that's what I learned. Like I actually went to Google then to confirm it. And so for me to sing she, uh, and to say, yeah, she lives in daydream with me, like she lives in his head. Like obviously that's not a real person, so
But like
that
she's
can be
real
about
to
him.
him.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I
And
think
also the fact he doesn't know who she is, that just means like, yeah, it goes well when it goes well with do you know who you are, and I don't know who she is, you know.
Exactly.
Mm.
yeah, and like you can just see that it's not a part that he brings to reality, like when he just
Mhm.
says that like a woman who's just in his head probably just like because he is scared and I mean closeted also just to show this side to others. But yeah, like obviously it's just a song of someone exploring
Yeah.
identity and just like the way he really is. And as you said, Agathe, like yeah, I feel like it goes very well with just his identity in general and just like understanding and trying to
Yeah, and when he say she stays in his bed, that's really like, oh, when I'm home, I can be who I want to be with the
yeah,
person I love. But when he has to go in public, this feminine part of him stay in bed, stay as at home because he can't show it to the world. So she stays in bed when he wake up, and then when he goes to the world, she just stays because he can't show this part of him to anyone.
Yeah,
yeah,
So
that
yeah.
also correlates. Do you remember one of the interviews, like the newer ones that we got? I don't remember the month this year, but it said that only like the closest people to him really knew
Mhm.
like him as a I don't know as a person in the sense of and I think they mentioned his sexuality or whatever and that was the answer and I think that correlates with the whole she what I mean what the song talks about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly, because he didn't say, "Oh, I'm not queer." He say, "My friend knows who I am, but I don't feel like talking about it publicly."
yeah,
So people saying he's unlabeled or saying he's straight, no, it never said that. Because I feel like some people think unlabeled means I don't want to talk about my label, but sometimes like I feel like unlabeled is more like I don't want to give myself a label, but he has a label. He just doesn't want to share it to medias and everything.
Mm.
exactly.
Only for the Brave. It's obviously quite an obvious song. Um, Obviously with the lyrics about Princess Park, and then again like being a habit that you can't break. Like I saw a lot of part historically gay relationships. Like of course they had to be hidden, so it's more of like it was more of something they had to do in secret, which is again sort of like a habit. Like if you've got a bad habit, for example, sneaking into the kitchen and eating biscuits when you really shouldn't, like it's a habit and you can't really break it. And it's going to take time to really
Yeah,
accept that about yourself. And I think the lyrics of Habit really do sort of portray that as best as they can. But one thing I actually wanted to mention was apparently I literally only found this out today. He co-wrote it with someone else.
Yeah.
which one?
Um, Only the Brave. No, was it Only the Brave or was it? What am I talking about?
Only
I'm
the
talking
Brave.
about the wrong song. I'm talking about the
What?
wrong song.
No.
Sorry, give me a minute. I've had like no sleep, so I'm trying to catch up on what I'm talking about. Only for the Brave. Sorry, let me get back to my point. Only for
Yeah.
the Brave is quite again self-explanatory. So is Habit, but I didn't. That's irrelevant. Only for the Brave, like the whole it's a church of burnt romances, like just speaks a lot about how sort of the whole religious context of being obviously gay, it's not really accepted in most churches, and like having it. Yeah, sorry, this is so hard to explain. I'm just going to stop talking now and let you guys discuss.
Okay. It
No,
makes
yeah,
perfect sense.
that was perfect. That was like completely true. You just
I was
talked
talking
about
about
like
two different songs though. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
no,
It's okay.
that's completely
No, I feel
okay.
like what we can add about Only for the Brave is obviously oh, it became so fast again for everyone. And obviously, we know Louis can't, like, he's not ready and just can't raise a flag. So,
Precisely.
so everyone are doing rainbow project lights or doing with the flags and everything. It really meant a lot to him. And I don't know if you saw this story because in Dubai, flags were not allowed, of course. So this person was front row and she saw she saw that there were no flag, and obviously she saw Louis was kind of bummed. And so she, during the entire song, she put up a picture of a rainbow that she
Yeah,
found
I
on
saw that.
Google,
Yeah.
and she showed it at him the entire show, and he smiled, and it's actually in the teaser of his last video. I don't remember which video, but basically a video about tour, and he puts that moment. And yeah, I think it's so powerful, the power of this song. And I feel like he didn't know he would go that far. And he recently talked about the way, like a fan and asked him, did he know about Only for the Brave being a gay anthem? Like, what did he think about it? And yeah, he was kind of happy about it. Like he said, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he loves that people have their own interpretation of the
Yeah.
song. But like you said, a church, like you don't burn a church for straight weddings. So, I
I
mean,
think
Yeah.
another thing about this song is it's such a simple song. It's an acoustic song. Like it's got a guitar and that's about it. And I think that really almost resonates with the listeners because it's very close to like heart, if that makes sense. Like it's a soft acoustic song with
mhm,
one person singing. And like I sort of feel like any acoustic song, you sort of feel more immersed in the music, but Only for the Brave with the lyrics and obviously the guitar, it really you sort of listen to it and you're like, oh.
Yeah,
but
I
also is, oh, sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
go ahead.
He said Only for the Brave was the only song he didn't write. At some point, he said something like that. Basically, apparently, it was written for Oasis. I don't remember, but it was written for someone else at first or something. But I don't know if it's true or if it's because it's so loud that saying, "Oh, I wrote it" would be,
Yeah, could get
it
him in
was like
trouble.
yeah, this album was on Psycho, so you know,
I mean, he
Yeah, that's
wrote it,
possible.
but he co-wrote it with two other
yeah,
people.
yes,
That's all. I mean, if you search for the credits of the song, that's what comes up.
hmm
But what I was going to say earlier is that I think Only Rave also resonates with people who have gone through the questioning yourself journey, because in the end, when you accept yourself, you realize that, I mean, it's a brave thing to kind of do, to
It's a solo
accept
song.
yourself
You've got to fly a
exactly,
flag yourself.
yeah, as you are, and love who you want to love. So it's
hmm
kind of, I think it kind of transmits that feeling too.
hmm exactly. And yeah, like we always say, you don't have to be brave to love someone for on the opposite gender. Like you won't get shit about homophobic people or something. So like you said, introducing the song and explaining, said, yeah, love is only for the brave, but straight love doesn't have to be for, you don't have to be brave, really.
You don't have to
You
censor
just,
it.
yes, exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, completely.
One of the ones I wrote down was it's Kiwi, but it's not obviously the whole song. It's just um the like basically just the line talking about an actress in a black dress. I definitely think like a whole song doesn't have to be about something for like it can be lines of things. And I just think like I've seen so many people make TikToks about that, about like how when he talks about an actress in a black dress, like hello, an actress, like
Yeah.
it's right there, like it doesn't.
Could it
Yeah,
be louder?
yeah, it just is someone acting, and it's like that's literally what we've been talking about this whole time with like all the
hmm
stunts. It's like they are literally acting, like being with each other basically.
hmm
um the next one I wrote down is basically the same thing. It's not obviously the whole song, but in Late Night talking about wish I was around and how much that's repeated. I just think it's like management has tried so hard to separate them that it's like wish I was around, like wish that they weren't always like being forced to be apart, if that makes sense, because
Yeah.
they I mean obviously we both know they wish they could be open together, like that's what we've all been hoping for a while. So those are my two.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
really a song about someone who is always away in another country. And I feel like I saw Terry's saying Daylight was about the same thing, about the fact that they are not in the same time zone lots of the time. So basically, late night talking is, yeah, I can only talk to you when it's night for me,
Yeah.
and basically, yeah, it's always really late. And daylight, I saw they were saying the fact that he's cursing the daylight is because when it's daylight for them, for the other person, it's night, so he can't talk to him anymore because like he's sleeping or something.
Yeah.
And like we know with all the stunts that are always following him, that it can't be about them, but it could be
Yeah.
about someone who is always touring in another country.
Yeah, because that's the
So
thing that
yeah.
really annoyed me the most was a lot of people were saying Late Night Talking was written by Olivia, but Late Night Talking was
What?
written Late Night Talking was written in Tokyo. Like I
Yeah.
think it was either during the pandemic or during Fine Line era. I cannot remember. I'm awful with dates. And they weren't even like quote unquote together at the time, so it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I
whole
think
album
it
was-
told he said it was supposed to be on Fine Line, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because that's why at the beginning of Late Night Talking, like while he's performing it, from my show at least, there was like almost speeding through Tokyo, like the graphics on the screen. You know what I mean?
There were
Yeah,
street signs of every country, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, the whole album was written before this whole PR relationship or whatever you want to call it. So it doesn't make sense to say that the whole album is for
Yeah.
her.
Like the
Even
math
if
just
they
doesn't
want to
math.
include it. Yeah, exactly.
Should we talk about cinema?
Yeah, I wanted to I briefly just wanted to touch on this because I think it was yesterday's show. Someone brought a sign, and it was, you know, the line, you pop when we get intimate.
Oh
and the
yeah.
And
heart.
yeah, and the whole poppers thing, and like, right,
That was
I've
really smart because
yeah.
to figure
Yeah.
that out, you would have to know what that means.
No,
And
because
it's
that's the
like,
thing. Is I did think like when I heard this song, because I've used poppers, you know, for a laugh, and like I did read up on it beforehand, and I found out that it was mainly used like gay sex. So I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then obviously I heard the lyrics, and I was like, wait, so he's either popping someone's cherry or someone is using poppers. I'm not sure which one, but anyways. And then obviously yesterday's events happened where someone bought a sign and he literally looked at it and gave them a thumbs up, and I was like, you sneaky devil, like, okay, thanks for the confirmation.
Yeah, but have you seen
It was
the
2 nights ago, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sorry again,
Yeah.
I'm awful with
No,
times.
no.
have you
No
seen that
worries.
actually the person who wrote that sign, they wrote it because they thought it was fun, and they did that at the concert. They actually took poppers is it?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah, they took that. So their intention was not to like to make this
Call him out, but it was more like,
Yeah,
haha,
and
funny.
Yeah, and a lot of people say, oh, because a lot of people when they saw the tweet, they were like talking about Larry and stuff, and the person who wrote the sign said, my intention was not that. I don't even believe in that. So, like, yeah, they thought it was like a fun sign, but they got another thing
Yeah.
entirely.
And when you see
Yeah.
Harry's reacting to it, he's like he's shocked that the person
People
figured out.
understood.
It was like, oh my God, you get it. So it's even more funnier it's even funnier that the person was not thinking about that at all. And
Yeah.
talking about that, do you remember? So basically, before HS3 came out, people who already listened to it was like, oh, there's this song, Cinema, is a stunt song, is about Olivia. And I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? And then remember, Harry's were like, oh, he doesn't know how vaginas work, basically. Like, he doesn't know the sexuality of women. Like, he's so bad at it, and was like, yeah, maybe there's a reason why.
Yeah.
It's not about women at all. So yeah.
Yeah, and also like the sentence, if I'm stubborn when it comes to this, and like a lot of people think that this is like also kind of mentioned in Sweet Creatures. Well, like I know it's hard when we argue, we're stubborn.
We're both stubborn. Yeah.
We're both stubborn. I know, blah blah blah. So yeah, like it might be connected, and like it be about the same person. Yeah, we can't remember who it is. Yeah, so
it's about Gemma, obviously. Come on.
Of course.
God, it's so obvious. How can you not see it?
Yeah, like people said, women don't pop. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and the poppers, like I was like, oh my God, it didn't really use the word pop. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And yeah, you're getting yourself wet for me. It's clearly like women can't. Yeah, basically, yeah. We understand.
It does it itself.
Yes.
We get it. Come on.
We know way too much about Harry's sexuality.
We do. It's really he's an oversharer for sure.
He really is.
Louis shares a lot about his emotion and
Yes.
about the drama and everything that happened. So the problem of miscommunication. Harry's just like, oh, do you know how I fuck? This is all.
Yeah.
Have you guys had medicine?
And what's
Yes,
so funny is
exactly.
the fact that he's
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that. Like, hello, medicine exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. And what's funny is like the fact that in real life, like when he meets fans and stuff, he's actually like a really shy person. Like
No, he is, and
he's
that's what
not,
makes
like-
me laugh.
Yeah, like he's not shy to where he'll not talk to someone, but like he's a very like socially awkward in a way kind of
Yeah,
person.
socially anxious. I was just gonna say that. I
Yeah.
was just gonna say, like, I don't think he is like shy. I think he's just like socially awkward and anxious. most of the
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
Like, yeah, he seems to be pretty open with his friends, but just like I understand because also like people that you don't know, it can be a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think he's the sort of person to sort of go up to anyone and be like, "Did you guys hear my song Medicine? Like, did you guys understand the lyrics? Did you want me to explain it?"
I don't
Oh my
think
God,
he has to.
imagine. So, he just takes the poppers out of his bag and he's like, yeah, that's what it's about. Do you know
Do you
how
want
it
some? Do you want to try
works?"
some?
Oh my God.
Yeah, like medicine is pretty self-explanatory. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
we can agree on that.
We're
Yeah.
talking about it later.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about it now if you want.
Oh, okay.
Might as well just mix everything up together because
Yes.
they all correlate in some way. So
Yes. So basically, yeah, we were talking about the fact that we know way too much about Harry's sexuality. And when we thought we understood everything about medicine, it just surprised us again.
yeah,
So basically, I think about the him, them, the fact that boys and girls are in, I mess around with them or him. I feel like he says both. Like sometimes according to his crowd, his audience and everything, I think he can say both. But in both cases, it's gay as fuck. So,
Oh,
it
yeah.
doesn't, yeah. But so during the New York shows, I feel like he loves to mimic things when he's singing
oh
this
my
song.
god, don't even.
He started to mimic a lot of blowjob when he was singing "Oh You Tasted." So we were like, okay, we get it, we got that part.
Yeah, like
But
when he
then,
shakes the mic, but in his
Oh,
hand.
yes,
Yeah,
oh my
don't.
God,
like bro.
unhinged. But the new part that we didn't know, we thought "How You Ride It" was about someone riding his, yeah. But we found that it was "Oh You Ride My Face." So like he basically
Yes, when
mimicked
at that
it
show.
2 times. Oh yeah, it was in New York.
You've also got to
Um,
remember that like this long hair Harry, which
Yes,
explains
exactly.
quite a bit.
Oh my God. So yeah, I think maybe "Or You Ride It" can be both. But first things, he never confirmed it was read it and tasted, right? Like he never said, oh, that's a lyric. And even if in the studio version, like I thought that if we listen to the studio version, they won't
It'd
be
be
a
more
blank, but there
specific.
actually is. But it's just been so not hiding at all that we figured it out. And so now we know that all you read it is basically like to eat out men, I guess. But
Which
yeah,
good for him.
yeah. But yeah, I can't take off this video of him mimicking a rim job, and I was like, what? Oh my God, Harry, that's too much information.
This is a family show.
Exactly. And like there are imagine people like 12 years old coming to his show with their parents. I was like, oh my God. I could
Yeah,
never.
I'm so glad I haven't seen Harry with my parents. It would be so interesting.
I did,
Yeah,
but I
and he
luckily
played
didn't sit with my mum.
but he played that song in front of his family as well. So
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. Like when his family's at the show, how are they okay?
I mean, yeah, he mentioned a lot of things in his song that I would never talk with my parents. But yeah.
Even just
Yeah.
the things he says in interviews as well, not even just the songs.
Yeah, he's like
Yes.
so open about
Like-
that kind of
He's
stuff.
unhinged.
Like Fine Line is about sex and being sad, or if I was not famous, I would be a virgin.
Like, fair enough. Good on you. And I can understand, but just
yeah,
remember,
I can
like,
completely get you. And
there are children here.
yeah.
So yeah, Madison is probably one of his loudest songs, and I think that's the reason it's not on the album. Because if it was on the album, he would have to put out the lyrics, right? Like
It would not be able to be played on the
official.
radio.
Yeah, and when there was this journalist from the Rolling Stones, and he wrote I messed around with him, and apparently Harry reached out to him and said, no, it's them, it's not him. But yeah, like of course, if Harry was saying, oh yeah, you can write him, then people would be like, it would be even louder. So
I mean, to be honest, I did read like one of those blind item anonymous things that apparently this one guy was staying at a hotel and he was talking to one of the hotel managers, and apparently Harry Styles was having an orgy. So, I mean, the pronoun them could be used for a reason. We all
Yes,
never know.
yes. Yeah, like first time I heard it, I was like, okay, so yeah, he likes to do threesomes and everything. And I mean, yeah, I mean, gay sex is pretty wild sometimes. And he has to have fun. Like, I mean, he's a celebrity, you can do whatever you want.
He's living his best life.
Yeah. I mean, if I had his face, I would sleep with everyone as well, even if I, I don't know.
As you should.
That reminds me
Yeah.
of, this is so off topic, but you saying that reminds me of in Don't Worry Darling, not really spoiler alert because it's just words, but when they called him ugly, and I don't know if that was a joke to the fans, but it really felt like it. I don't know if anyone remembers what I'm talking about, but at the dinner at their house, when it's when they mentioned that he was ugly. Did any of you guys know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't seen the movie.
about?
Oh my
Okay.
god, it's traumatic, but it's good. Like
It's
it's really good.
It's
But I
very
left
traumatic.
I left the cinema and I was like, what have I just witnessed?
Yeah, I watched
Yeah.
it twice, and it literally just each time was the second time wasn't better than the first. I was still
No,
just
literally.
I've been spoiled about almost everything, and I don't want to be spoiled about everything, but like I just didn't want to pay for it for once. And also,
Oh yeah, fair
like
enough.
Harry is so, I mean, he's so like, I'm so protective, and kind of possessive with him in my fandom. Like I just want to share with other fans that I wouldn't want to be in a cinema room. I don't even know how you say it. With other people who don't really know him, or with people who are just, crushing on
Watching
him.
the film
And
for the fun.
yeah, and seeing him having sex with a girl in front of other people, I would be like, no, I just like, no, you can't, like, I don't know how to explain it, but
I was laughing the whole time. Like through those scenes, I was giggling. Like it was that bad.
Yeah. this is also kind of just a last thing about Don't Worry, Darling. But I don't know if anyone else noticed, but like, obviously, we all know that the movie was mostly promoted on like the fact that Harry was having sex. You know, like that's kind of what was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even. There wasn't even that much in the movie. Like it really wasn't like there.
Yeah,
It wasn't
she-
even like
she
it wasn't
lied.
even no, literally, it wasn't even like Harry Styles having sex. It was like this is about female pleasure. The woman was trapped in her bed, stuck in a simulation.
Yes,
I don't think
exactly.
so.
Also, she lied because she said there was another sex scene that she wanted to add in the teaser, and they censored her or whatever. And then people saw the movie and they're like, no, she actually put every sex scene in the trailer, so like there was
Yeah.
not even another scene.
Yeah,
I mean,
unless there was one like that they filmed but haven't put in the movie, which is also
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah,
I think
but
our opinions
Oh.
on Olivia Wilde deserves a whole nother podcast episode because we could
Yeah,
honestly
yes.
go on about her
Yeah,
for
we
ages.
actually
I was going
did.
to say that, but also, I mean, look, I'm going to study cinematography next year, right? So I love all about film, whatever. The only thing I'm going to give it to this movie is the editing and like the aesthetic is really
Oh yeah.
well done.
Yeah,
The
it's
whole other part
fantastic.
of the movie, I'm not going to comment on that because they pissed me off so much how they were promoting the movie in the sense of I was getting email after email after email like buy the tickets. I was not going to buy tickets. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but no, it goes against a lot of what I believe in, whatever. I was not going to actually like pay for the movie. I might see it in like another way, but I'm not going to pay for tickets.
Yeah,
That's the
same.
problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That is the problem now is Harry Styles is more of a brand than a singer, if you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
I heard
just
the hesitation.
he's so
to say
marketed.
band.
Yeah, I know, sorry. it's hard. But no, he's more of like a market scheme at the moment than an actual human being. And I feel like a lot of people will use that to their advantage, and anything that you can profit with his name off of, people will use that opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, they actually broke like there's a rule in like this in the cinema world, right? When you promote a movie and the movie is like it's rated R and it's like you need to be above a certain age to actually go into the cinema.
Oh yeah, I got
cannot-
ID'd. I got ID'd multiple times to go in.
Oh
Yeah,
really? My
but
Yeah.
my cinema, they don't ID you after like 7, and also if you buy tickets online, they can't ID you. So I bought mine online because I'm 15. So I just got
Yeah.
it.
yeah,
No,
but
they
the thing
ID'd
is,
me both times.
Oh, huh.
they shouldn't. I mean, they shouldn't been able to promote the movie using Harry's newsletter because
Yes.
people who are underage could have been subscribed and you were promoting a movie that is rated explicit or whatever you want to call it, right? And there's a rule for that, and there's actually like a whole like I think organization that makes sure that doesn't happen. This
Yeah, no,
movie didn't give
Sorry, carry on.
no, that this movie didn't even care. I mean, the movie, not actually the movie. I mean, the team who was promoting the movie didn't care about that. They didn't care about a lot of things. That's why I think it's not like really good way of promoting a movie. But
Yeah, because my 9-year-old sister was getting adverts for the film, and by adverts I mean like the whole trailer that you couldn't
Yeah.
skip. You had to watch the whole thing, and she's 9. I don't really think she wants to watch Harry Styles eat out Florence Pugh. Like she was just trying to watch her gacha videos. Like let her be.
yeah,
Yeah, that was insane. Like it was all over the feed. I don't know how many things. Like I know they paid a lot of media to promote it. Like the media workout was paid by Warner Bros to promote it as well. So they were all into that promotion.
they
So,
were
Yeah.
gifting tickets to concerts. I think.
Oh, they
I
were,
heard.
yeah.
I like. I mean, I get it, but if they are going to do that for that movie, they should have done the same for a policeman. And I know they are not going to do it, and they didn't do it because they don't have like money in the movie. I believe that Harry's team had something to do with like maybe like the financial part of Don't Worry Darling, because if
Mhm.
not, why the hell they were promoting the movie so in the way they did? Because I understand your client is like lead or whatever, but it doesn't make sense.
Like, you hear nothing about My Policeman from HSHQ compared to how much we heard about Don't Worry Darling.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think it's also because it's not going to be in theater in every country, and
Yeah.
also My Policeman doesn't need to be like, they know it's going to be successful and really the critics are going to be good and everything. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, from the start, it started like really all bad things, all bad buzz. So they had to do more. And I feel like also Olivia maybe had some issue with money and everything, and I think she went over budget or something. So basically, all the tickets for this movie were like the only chance to not be screwed up towards the producers or something. Like, I think they had a really big commitment to achieve like a big goal. So they were really desperate, I feel like. And
Do you ever wonder, like, how long it's going to take before someone leaks? Like, because do you ever wonder about the scenes between Shia and Florence before Shia got obviously left the film? Like,
do you mean like when actor was going to say the
yeah, no,
is that your
it was more a case of like, do you ever wonder how long it's going to take for those scenes to be leaked?
I think they didn't
Oh.
report anything.
Oh, I thought they did.
I think they didn't because they had problems with like shuttering the
Right, yeah.
So I think they didn't even get around shooting anything.
Oh no, fair enough then.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it didn't, like, basically, I don't know if you saw the text between him and Florence, but basically it was saying that he didn't have enough time to rehearse, and Florence was like, yeah, that's so weird, like we don't have enough time to rehearse.
Yeah.
And basically Shaya was like, okay, I just like realized it's going to be more than just problem rehearsing. Like, there were other problems that it didn't mention the in the text, but you can understand it was really a very bad organization and everything. And even Florence at that point started to be annoyed.
Yeah.
And also he couldn't really with her because she was not able to be in the US or something, and like she went to a funeral or someone of our friends and everything, so she was not here. So obviously they couldn't rehearse together. They just did FaceTime or something. So it was really bad.
Yeah.
And so that's why Shia left. He said, okay, there are way too many problems and didn't want to be implicated in these very messy films. And when we, like, before even all this mess started, we already realized it was such a mess. Like,
Oh yeah.
so, but anyway, we should do a podcast just about why Olivia Wilde is problematic. I think it could be like 5 or 8 hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We actually like did an episode on the Olivia stunts. And like we have a part of Olivia being problematic, but it's like it's not a whole episode, but I feel like it's enough light on her.
Yeah. And also every time we add like every month, every week there's something new to add to why it's she's problematic. So yeah.
Right.
We were at Little Freak.
Oh yeah. I mainly just wanted to talk about that again because it has links to She. Well, again, it's up to interpretation because some people are saying it's about Caroline Flack, while other people are saying it is again about sort of Harry's feminine side. But it was mainly just I can't remember who I was talking to about it, but it was a while ago, and we basically went through the whole song, and it was sort of like the whole red wine and ginger ale thing, like especially ginger ale is quite like I'm not really sure how to explain it. It was quite an in-depth conversation. It's like lyrics like you've become some paranoia, like it's almost something that he's kind of scared to let out sometimes because he doesn't know people's reaction on it. And then what other bits were it there? Sort of your delicate point of like it is tended to be like stereotypically like women have quite a, you know, delicate out view on life, and I think that could sort of reflect onto his feminine side. But again, the whole song is up for interpretation. I just thought it was worth mentioning.
What struck me, I was actually shook, and I feel like not a lot of people talk about it, because basically I talked about it when it was just leaked, it was not out yet, but you know, he's saying little freak Jezebel, and when you go to the meaning of Jezebel it's going to remind you of someone, a female with seeking attention from and possibly plotting to use someone who is wealthy or otherwise desirable in order to gain status in society. She is often beautiful and knows it. She uses her looks to her advantage to lure in her next victim. She doesn't enjoy being out of the loop. She very much has to be the center of attention, but also doesn't have many real friends because of how shallow she is. She will do anything and will use anyone to get what she wants. She's interested in the people she's interested in purely as a status symbol and will toss them away and move on when they no longer satisfy what she wants.
That sounds familiar. I don't know about you guys.
That was so loud.
The song has so many different interpretations and people really can take it as they wish. It's just worth mentioning because it is a very almost stunty song, but it can also be interpreted as, again, sort of his feminine side. And I've spoken to multiple people about it and everyone's got their different views on it. And it's just really interesting to see how people perceive the song.
Did you see the... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was just gonna also just talk about what you mentioned, so Jezebel, and when I looked it up on Genius, so it there's a whole point on Jezebel, and so the end of this point, if I can just read a bit, is basically just saying that it is a well-established critical term that has been hotly debated in academic circles for years in regards to psychoanalysis and intersectional feminism. And so it basically says that by calling someone both little freak and Jezebel in the same line, it could imply a fascination with the person's sexuality or sexual expression, which is basically just what you talked about, just really can makes us think of what is the main topic of the song and what is what does Harriet want to.
And that is the issue with these boys, is they're both extremely cryptic, so it takes us ages to actually figure out what they're trying to say.
So basically I had this theory that Little Freak could be a duet like Always You between Harry and Louis, and I don't know, I don't remember which part in my theory, but basically sometimes when you listen to the lyrics you can feel like it's two persons talking to each other, because there's something that looks more like Louis, something that look more like Harry and everything. So I don't know, I just had this theory. But, like you said, I feel like this is one of the most cryptic songs. Like everyone has a different theory, and we saw during both Ono's nights that Little Freak was probably the most sensitive for him to sing. Like he was about to cry every time he sang it. Like he was really, really emotional, and then he didn't sing it at all during the whole Europe tour. So
I was so upset about that.
So I just wanted to add a small point about Little Freak. So just the name, freak is also can be linked to the fact of being queer. Being queer was also at the time kind of being a freak. So it can also be just another synonym that he uses because he didn't want little queer would be really impossible to just use for now. But just as Aries was saying, Harry's cryptic, Louis also really cryptic. So yeah, it might just be a way of hinting that.
And about Freak, like when we saw the first picture, like in May, about the circus music video, I thought it would be about Little Freak because of the movie Freaks. I don't know if you know it. It's a very old movie in black and white. Basically, it happens in a circus, and there are freaks who are actually people with disability, like there are no arm or no legs or a bearded woman or something like that. And basically, they were exploited by the circus as they always are, and they take revenge or anything. So Freaks is like it was freak show. It was also in circus, like so. I was like, oh, maybe it's about that, but no, we know it's sushi. But yeah, I
I
don't know.
know.
Like this song is so
I
I
know
don't.
I mean, I know what I'm going to say might not make a lot of sense, but my nan is like a huge Elvis fan. Like he loves him to death. Um, so the other day, my dad was showing me a clip of the new Elvis movie, right?
Mhm.
And well, Elvis management was, I mean, super controlling in the sense of they were on him every single day, every single like hour of the day, whatever. Like, and I relate that to how his management is, right? So
Mhm.
Elvis actually like kind of, I don't know if it is true or not, but in the movie they show um how he started like going around with a circus, right? So in like a tour, but with a circus, and how he started making music there. And when I saw that, I kind of thought about the music video, or like the thing Harry shoot with the circus, right? And I mean, it's not really related to the song, but it could be related about how Harry's management is like super controlling in the sense of, I mean, that. And we know
Mhm.
he loves Elvis. Like he said, has said it a couple of times already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there was this story about music for a sushi restaurant being about the music industry. So I don't know if you saw the first series that came out tonight about the music video because we had the mermaid emoji by HLD. And I was talking about like early 2022, I think. There were rumors that Harry shot something in the sea. So I was like, oh, maybe he's going to be a mermaid in the music video. And someone said something really interesting. They were like, oh, but wait, um, like siren mermaids are majestic creatures that lured the sailors, right? So basically we thought about the fact that maybe he's going to be captured as a mermaid and went to a circus, and basically that would mean the music industry captured him to sing like a mermaid
Oh yeah, that would make
to
so much
lure
sense.
and to lure the fans, basically the sailor as the fans, and then they can exploit him for money. Because really, the fact it shows a circus for me when we got the picture was so loud because all the people in the circus, especially back then, were always exploited. Like every time you have a movie about a circus, like Dumbo or anything, you can always see that they are exploited. They use their talents and they exploit them. They all capture like the tigers, the elephant, and everything.
Yeah,
So
like they take animals from the
yeah,
nature, when they are in
exactly.
their natural element and just being good with themselves to
Hmm.
just being in a cage and
Exactly.
having to entertain others
Hmm.
by like being a part of a show, which is like exactly
Yes.
what Harry is doing. So yeah, that would just make so
Yeah.
much sense.
Just like his bird ring about a goldfinch, that's basically a goldfinch is a bird who is captured because of his melodic voice. And basically, the goldfinch used to be captured just to entertain people with his, like he was forced to sing. And the fact that he has that around his finger during all the tours that he was basically forced to do, and now a circus, like if he is a mermaid captured, like we just theorized tonight, it would be one of his loudest music video. And yeah, honestly,
Also,
it's very, very sad.
wasn't he dressed yellow with feathers?
Yeah. Oh, basically, we learned tonight as well that when, like in the Greek mythology, siren, when then turned by some god, I don't remember which one, into birds. So we were like, what? Like like mermaids when turned into birds. And then they were keep on singing to Sailor, but Sailor was smarter, so they would plug their ears with their hands. And so the mermaid was so frustrated, but they were birds, right? So they went to the sea and drowned, or something like that. I don't remember exactly. I think maybe it was bird at first, and then they went to drown in the sea and became mermaids, or something like that. But basically, bird and mermaids are together. And you remember the Escher shirt that was so loud, it's like an optical illusion of birds becoming of fish becoming birds. I don't know if you remember. It's a drawing that was on the shirt of a woman that Harry posed with, and it became Limonry. I don't know if you remember. So yeah, I don't know if I go too far, but there are a lot of theories.
Oh yeah. Well, I just looked it up. That so in Ovid Metamorphosis, so he wrote about sirens, and basically it said some version, the like in art, the sirens appeared first as birds with heads of women, and later as women, sometimes winged with bird legs.
Okay.
They evolved, like with ancient tales, they evolved and just became the mermaids that we know today. So
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm really excited about this music video. We're probably going to get it by the end of the week. But I didn't read the whole theory about Music for a Sushi restaurant being about the music industry, but I mean, it would make a lot of sense if this video is in the circus.
yeah, I haven't either looked at a lot of things about it, but yeah, I hope to know more about it. And Matilda.
I mean, I wrote that, but what I wanted to mention about Matilda is that I don't think it's kind of a song about his discovery as like queerness. I just think it's kind of a song that talks about like the acceptance of like others and like how they perceive you and all that kind of stuff. And I think that if you've not gone through it, you're not going to fully like get the meaning behind the song. So I think it's like a special song for him and for all the people who relate to the song in any way they want to relate to it.
Yeah.
The first time I listened to Matilda, I was like, oh my God, he's talking about the book by Roald Dahl, because like when I was younger, I used to read all the Roald Dahl books. I was like, that's so weird. Like, why is he talking about this book? And like in such a weird way, like he knew this person, Matilda, which is a fictional character, and then I went on Google, and basically, I don't remember what it called, but basically, since queer people, um, like back in the days, were not as represented as now, so they used books or things that was about other things and would interpret it as talking about them. So Matilda is a very gifted child, and his parents don't accept her that way because they are dumb and everything and stupid. But then she found an ally, which is his teacher, who is helping her, like embracing who she really is. And then she became powerful and take revenge and everything. So basically, for queer people, when they read that book, especially for young queer people, they were like, "Oh, it's just like me. I'm different, and that's why my family doesn't accept me." And I found an ally, who maybe, I don't know, a teacher or a friend or something. So basically, it was a very queer book. It became a queer book for queer people. So the fact he used that book and made it exactly what it is, taking us a story that was nothing about queer people and made it about queer people, is so powerful for me. And that's why it's also so emotional, because maybe when he was a kid, he read it and interpreted it that way, even if we know his family is really supportive. But I don't know, like, that made it another dimension to know about how this book became really important to queer people.
Yeah, and Harry actually said that he took inspiration from Roald Dahl
Mm-hmm.
books like Matilda. So yeah, it would just make
Yeah.
a lot of sense because
Yeah,
he
he
was
confirmed it.
and
Insane.
also in his song, um there is no label put on the songs, put on Matilda. Like he never talk about them like as a she or as a he, like no pronouns
Mm-hmm.
are really put on. So yeah, it could also just mean something.
Yes,
I
exactly.
know, I mean, I was just thinking now because one of my sisters is like really loves Olivia Rodrigo, and she has a song kind of, I mean, same feelings as maybe Matilda, in the sense of I they were telling me, my sister was telling me the other day how that song relates to also people who are like struggling with themselves, like the like perception of themselves, their sexuality, or whatever. And I think maybe it's like in the same that people relate in the same way with Matilda.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's what Louis said as well, that he really loves when people make their own interpretation of songs, and that they, like, it's better when people are really connect with a song and make it their own, and always talk about me because or something. So Matilda, I think, is going to talk to everyone, and the fact that he always introduce it by saying, "This song is very important to me, and I hope that someday it's going to be important for you," or something. He says something like that. And yeah, I mean, it's probably one of his loudest songs, I feel like. Even if it doesn't really talks about himself, like, I mean, maybe he does, but it's like he looks like he doesn't talk about himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I mainly don't think that this is like a song about Harry or just like um him discovering himself as something in
Mm-hmm.
general. But I do feel and I understand that it resonates to a lot of people, like especially a lot of queer people have said that it also just like really resonates because it sometimes when you're queer, your parents does not always like accept you, and your family in general does not really accept you. So
Mm-hmm.
you just had to do it on your own, and that can also be like a way of seeing this song. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I really understand that people and just queer people in general are just really attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also, since he's in the community, I'm sure he met a lot of people who were not accepted by his family. Maybe he wanted to do a songs about all his friends or all the people he met, or even his fans that he knows struggle with their sexuality or being supported by their family and everything. And it's really a songs about hope, about finding your own family, and like, you don't have to be abused by the people who put you in this world, because you can find your own family with people who actually support you. Basically, the song is about that. So
Yeah, definitely.
I brought two people with kindness, just because of the whole like history around the place where it was filmed, and that one lyric that relates to the community in itself. I mean, if I'm not wrong, I remember when the music video came out, um, people were like kind of talking about the place it was filmed and how it used to be like a gay underground club when it was not allowed to be,
Hmm.
where people were not allowed to be like gay or whatever they wanted to be. They were not allowed, so they had to like have places specifically for them to like get together. I think it was kind of that. I don't remember right now, but I almost sure it was that.
Hmm.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing we've been talking about since we've started this analysis of different songs. How um all, at least, well, not, I don't know if all of them, but maybe most of the songs we've talked about now, they also relate in the situation that kind of Harry is in. I think. I mean, because he's not really allowed to be who he is. So I think that is like really a strong connection with this music video, maybe. And also the line of the song that says, "If our friends all pass away, it's okay." I mean, there was a time where like gay people were like really targeted because of AIDS, and I think that could also be that. And I mean, they were targeted because of just being gay, but I mean, it worsened with the whole AIDS situation, and I think maybe that line could also resonate with, well, with that.
Yeah, exactly. There were these theories about three people with connects talking about AIDS and the fact, like you said, he shot the music video exactly like you said. They had to hide in private clubs and everything underground. Basically, gay men was the first one to have AIDS, right? And because they didn't protect themselves and everything, so for a long time, people thought first of all, they didn't know how it was contagious, so they thought maybe just touching a gay man would give you AIDS, and also they thought it was just a gay man disease. So exactly like, and I feel he said, and if your friend will pass away, it's like, oh yeah, we don't care about gay men. Like if they all pass away, like I think yeah, basically what you said. And also I feel like one of the most the loudest lyric for me is feeling good in my skin, especially when he
Yeah.
sings live, and the way he is very gay coded, like doing like his little dance, feeling good in my skin. Yeah, I mean, and also obviously the song why he always raise flags. So
Yeah, definitely.
also, do you think, I don't know, but there was this theory about the music video that the woman, Phoebe Waller-Bridges, was representing his feminine side because they really do everything together, the same movement and everything. So there was also this theory, which is pretty interesting as well.
Yeah. Also, um, the dance they routine they did, if I'm not wrong, if I remember correctly, uh, the kind of, not, this is hard to explain, but not the genders, but the part where traditionally men dance to that part,
Hmm.
Phoebe dance to that part, and Harry dance to like the
Hmm.
part women usually dance to.
Exactly. Like when when he goes, I don't know you say in English, but yeah, basically when you kind of drop the woman, like it's always like that. And in this video, it is the one who do that. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, then I kind of wanted to like, I know it's not, I mean, a solo song, but I think that one of these songs in One Direction that actually was a bit one of the loudest for me is Alive, because if you change girl for boy, this song makes perfect sense. It makes much more sense that with the word girl.
Oh yeah,
Exactly. I
definitely.
think, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like, I haven't thought of any songs written during One Direction days, but like a lot of songs actually make a lot of sense. Like, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
if I could
Yeah.
fly, for example, like yeah,
They don't know
Flying.
about us.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they don't know about us is so huge,
Yes.
and it's pretty much only makes sense
Mm-hmm.
if you take into consideration like Harry and Louis like relationship at the time, or
Mm-hmm.
like just closeted artists in general having a real yeah, a real romance that they cannot talk about it, because like otherwise
Mm-hmm.
it would make absolutely no sense. Like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
Also,
basically, with their stunts, they were always in the media, so everyone would know about them. So,
exactly.
so yeah.
Yeah. But you know what is the lyric that kind of from Alive, which kind of self-explanatory. Uh, the part which says, "Can you find out what is wrong with me?" And that
Mm-hmm.
is a question that everybody who once in their life question the sexuality, you make that question to yourself. Like,
Exactly.
I think that's why I think most of these songs are really loud, because they kind of talked in that how do you say this, in that kind of line, in the sense of, I mean, again, lights up, do you know who you are, and like all
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. I was thinking the same thing because it's my mother told me I should go against some therapy, like conversion therapy. Um, the doctor, can you find what's wrong with me? I don't know why I want to be with every boy I meet. I can control it. Like it doesn't make sense with girl. Like people were saying maybe it's about, a huge sex drive or being an nymphomaniac or something, but no. And then they're like, hey, it's okay if that makes you happy, if that makes you alive, just live your life. So yeah, it's like it's so loud. Um, maybe one of the loudest, and it became again back then. I heard about it. I wanted
um
to talk about Sign of the Times.
yeah,
Um, Basically, I don't know the whole theory about Sign of the Time, but it's been theorized that it was about closeting, and I just wanted to talk about it because of how similar it is to Copy of the Copy of the Copy. Basically, they all talk like they had the same sound. Basically, like they had this weird song that you can do with a guitar or something. They had the exact same song in both songs, and also like Stop Your Crying the Sound of the Time, and Hush Your Cry, man, young man, Hush Your Cry. I don't remember exactly. um, but yeah, I feel like these songs are so similar. Also, they are pretty long, both of them, I feel like. Um, so Sign of the Time for a long time were like, what is this song about? And I feel like in interview he said it was about a woman who lost his son or something like that. And we know when they talk bullshit like that, it's actually really loud. So when he say welcome to the final show or something, maybe it's like maybe when he wrote Sign of the Time he was thinking it would soon be over. And of course, we have to mention that Sign of the Time is actually the name of a company owned by people from Sony. So it was also really loud about that, because the name is not random. It basically targeted the music industry.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's it if I sorry, it was the first song he sang like solo, right?
Yeah.
So And this has been bugging me for years, and I still can't figure out what the hell was happening with the whole One Direction interviews, in the sense of, do you remember the interviews Harry said that like he was kind of saying he was not straight, but like not explicitly.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So for this to be the first song he sang solo, it's a bit kind of loud, and it's kind of, I don't know. The thing is, I still can't figure out what the intention was in like 2015, 2016. What was the intention back then? Because everything was pointing to like at least Harry coming out as maybe bi, but then everything was worse. It got worse, like just like that. And then this song came out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, I don't know, it's weird.
Honestly, I feel like we should analyze all the lyrics, because I never took the time to do it, but like it's so cryptic, that song. But it's clearly very, very important to him. And yeah, I don't know. I should read the thread about how it's about closeting and everything. But like you said, I feel like maybe he thought it would be free, because basically that's what Jeffrey promised him. I think like it's a theory, but it's what was obvious. So maybe he thought, okay, it's going to be okay. It's a final show. Like like I have to pretend one last time, and yeah, I don't know. But he
Yeah,
said we got to get out of here. So you have to say, it doesn't mean to say we got to get out of the closet. I don't know.
yeah, but like for me, Harry's management, Harry's team nowadays is kind of another side of the same coin, and that coin being the music industry and modest management and psycho and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So for me, it's, I don't know which one is worse actually. I mean, for me, they're both horrible.
You mean Louis and Harry, or the boss management?
No, Modest and the Asofs. Like
Yeah, I
who's
mean,
worse?
yeah, I mean, it's still in Sony, so of
Yeah,
course, and Azov is one of the richest
you
people,
know,
so yeah.
the other day I was actually just like on Twitter, and a tweet said that the only reason Jeff is Harry's manager is because his father couldn't be his manager, because if not, there was going to be a monopoly within the music industry, and that is kind of prohibited. So that's why like Jeff is kind of a placeholder for his father. So and that would make a lot of sense in the sense of how Harry has been like promoted, and all the things with, I mean, the stunt and another kind of a bunch of other things. And yeah, and I think that's actually worse.
Yes, basically, Jeff started to lure him, like since 2013, I feel like, yeah. Always like he wanted him bad. Like in One Direction, Harry was always the most promoted. There was like they made it a leader somehow, something. It was a favorite, so it was always more promoted than the other. So basically, they knew it was going to be a gold mine, and um, Jeff lured him a long time ago, and we think he promised him a coming out, and that's why the Xander stunt started and everything. And then maybe Harry was convinced he would be more free with Jeff, but yeah, Jeff, I feel like, is almost useless, and every big decision is made by his father, and he's just his father little puppet. So I mean, I'm sure Jeff actually likes Harry, but he's so stupid and so useless, and he can't protect Harry and only think about his money and to make his daddy happy. So yeah, it's actually awful. Like to be under hands off with like one of the most powerful men in the industry is yes, it's really, really bad. But we're going to change that. A little bit of positivity.
Exactly.
Because what's good with powerful men is that they have a lot of skeleton in their closets. No pun intended, but they have done really bad shit and they are really bad people. And you can always find something on them to put them down, basically, to expose them. And because,
Yeah,
yeah.
but the thing is that music industry has been like this for ages now,
Mm-hmm.
and there's been some cracks here and there, and like people actually fighting back. But
Mm-hmm.
I know that I think that people should understand this, and it took me a while to understand it. But I think once you do, it's actually more clear. Harry is not. Harry is replaceable within the music industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thing is, nowadays he's in like a stardom kind of phase, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's going to want to sign him just because he has a like really big fan base, and it's like a gold mine right now. But the thing is, they're going to put limits to it because they want to have profit, and that's why Harry's replaceable, because if he doesn't go along with it, they can just replace him just like that. I'm sure they have like a lineup of lots of artists who they could actually make of them what they want them to make. So
Mm-hmm.
he has to compromise in some bits, and I think that's why a lot of what happened this year happened. And I'm not saying it was Harry's choice, because it was not. I'm just saying that he had to have compromises.
Yes, but I feel like I feel like for the start of his solo career, you are absolutely right. And I feel like he was so scared of going solo because all he knew was his band that, and also I'm sure he was brainwashed to thinking you are nothing without us and we can blacklist you and basically you have to compromise. But I feel like more and more he realized how strong his fan is, but his fan base was, that I feel like now he actually knows that he could do independent and his fans are so loyal that we would follow. But there are two things. One, he can be blacklisted, and when you go independent, basically the music industry can do that you are not allowed to do any radio station, your music will not be played. You can do any interview and anything. Like it's really easy for them to blacklist someone. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that he has signed really long contracts that he can't really get out of, so he just has to do it. So yeah, I feel like it's a mix of, I mean, it's just my theory, but I'm sure he knows that if he was just doing music, we would support him and he would be just as successful, just
Yeah.
as on his fans, I mean.
This whole like Harry acting and Harry making music and the long tours, it actually kind of reminds me. And again, sorry for like the parallels, and I think I already mentioned it before, but kind of the same in like an every situation. And I've talked about this with my nan, because she's a really big fan and she knows like a lot about it. And she said that yeah, that she really likes Harry too, so she's like actually a fan, and she follows him on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. And she said that the how they've been promoting the movie, and how Harry is like everywhere, and how he's now acting and whatever, that it really reminds her of a time in like the Elvis stardom, because
Yeah.
he kind of started in the same sense as Harry. Differently, but like they grew to a place that they were like a household name,
Mm-hmm.
and that it's only going to get like bigger from there. And actually, I don't know if it's better or worse in the sense of commitment, the amount of
Mm-hmm.
he has planned, or they have planned, or I don't know. What I do know and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't his contract a 3 album one and a 3-2-1?
Yeah.
I mean,
So
it's a theory, like we never had confirmation,
of
but it's a
course,
theory, yes. I mean, it's a hope, especially. We don't know, maybe, like, I hope that after this whole tour is going to do the quota that he has to do for every contract and basically manage to fulfill all his goals that he has to fulfill in his contract. That's why he's doing so many dates, because he has to catch up from not being able to do a tour for Fine Line. So I feel like in this contract, he's like, oh, you have to bring that many money for tours or something. I think something like that. But also, I feel the ways they are using using him that much is they know that in the entertainment industry, well, you peak at a certain age, but how he's going to go older, basically, he's going to be 30, 40. And at some point, some people are going to be like, oh, yeah, he's old now. So, like, obviously, maybe some young girls won't be interested in him, or maybe some fans are going to be interested in more young people or something like that. So they know that right now is the best way to use him because he's still pretty and everything. Like, obviously, I know he's going to be beautiful all the time, but what I mean is like in the industry, you're only good from 16 to 32, you know what I mean? Like, and then you're too old and we need to find new talent to bring back the teenage girls and everything.
yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be a gold mine for a few years, and maybe then he's going to be able to start a family and be free and everything. I don't know.
Yeah,
So,
would make sense.
I mean, we got a little bit off topics, but yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's time for the speed round. The question today is, what is your LT2 claim track? So first, when we didn't have the track list, we will always pick just numbers, obviously. So mine was 2 and 3. We already know Bigger Than Me and Written All Over Your Face. And now that we have the the name, I think I'm going to stay with Written All Over Your Face and oh my God, this is so hard. But I'm really, really interested with She's Beauty, We Are World Class and Face the Music,
Oh
basically.
yeah, I'm so interested in She's a Beauty, We Are World Class. Like, yeah, it just such an interesting name. Like, I don't know.
Mm.
Okay, Scar, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Mine is my claim track is 2 because I did 2 for Louis and 8 for Harry to make 28. So
So
That is,
Written All Over Your Face.
yeah, which
Yeah.
I'm so excited about because that song, like just the title of that, I love so
Yeah.
much.
Just like from the dining table, right?
Yeah.
yeah. So mine, if I can go next. So mine is Silver Tongues.
Oh,
Not about like the number, but just like with the name. I don't know. It was just the one that really clicked, and I was just like, I really want to listen to this one. Like, I feel like it's gonna be really interesting. And then Louis said like on for official charts that um like one of the songs he was like that was really particular and that he was like super proud of was Silver Tongue. So now I even want to listen to it more. So yeah, can't wait to listen to it.
yeah. And they definitely have something with silver because Silver Spoon in Harry's tattoo, Silver Street in Doncaster that he talks about in Change. So yeah, I'm also very excited with Silver Tongue. But
Yeah,
yeah.
it also just makes me think that Harry Potter for some reason.
Yeah, maybe. Honestly, I've never been so excited about an album. Like, I feel like I'm more excited about Facing the Future than I was for Harry's House.
Yeah, that's how I am too. I don't know why, but I just feel like it's because we know how far Louis has come since Walls that
Yes.
like it's so exciting to see how different this is gonna be. Because like
Mm.
when Walls came out, we were all like flabbergasted, like at how good it was. So if it's better than that, it's like what?
Also, it's my first Louis album released. So I experienced the final album release. I was not completely in the fandom, but I was really a fan of Harry. But Louis, like when I was into the fandom, like his album came out a year ago, so I didn't experience it. And I was such an emo kid when I was in middle school and high school that I feel like it's going to be just my type of music, very rock and emo. And yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm also really excited for like the kind of music it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
just yeah, also about the lyrics, but like more about, as you said, Scar, like Louis has come like very far now. He is just like yeah, I feel like now we can really understand the kind of artist that he is, and he also discovered himself through like his whole like world tour. So I can't wait to listen to it and just to see what inspired him. And you know, like I also listened to all of his playlists, you know, like the
Mhm.
playlists that he made for the tour bus and the other one that he did for you know, the core thing. Can't remember
Mhm.
exactly, like F1 something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and through that, I feel like you can see just Louis' music taste, which were most like indie rock, which is
Mhm.
just so interesting because I really hope it's going to be the kind of music that we're going to have in the album. And yeah, I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like I'm also just going to love it.
I was gonna say Silver Tongues, but I'm just between two like headlines and Silver Tongue, just because of the names. I think they're going to be like kind of I don't know if to call it rock or call it indie or like punk or whatever. I love that kind of music, and I think Louis is great for that. I think his voice is super great for that. And when
Mhm.
I listened to Out of My System, I got like kind of an Arctic Monkeys kind of
Yeah.
sound, and
Yeah,
I
for sure.
if really that's not, it's going to be super great. I think that is more his sound. I mean, because
Mm.
even within the band, he brought a kind of sound to the songs, right? So
Mhm.
I really think he's going to do amazing with this. It's the music he wants to make, and I'm super excited for this, and like I really can't wait.
Yeah, especially since he wrote them for live, so we know the tour is going to be amazing.
Yeah,
And yeah, and also what I wanted to say, wait, I lost my track of thoughts. Um, wait, what did you say? Oh my God, I don't remember. I'm tired, I think. No, but yeah, I'm so excited because oh yeah, I remember. Okay, I'm going to start over. I'm really excited because, like you said, he finally found his sound, and I feel like the next album is going to be more him, and the next album as well. Like, is still discovering himself. So I feel like each album is going to be better than the one before, and I'm so excited for his solo career to really start because we know he experienced a lot in Wars, but now is more confident, and like you said, his voice is perfect for this kind of music. And Holiday as well had really a Arctic Monkeys vibes, like it was insane. I don't know if you listen to Holiday.
No, I did not.
It's not on the album, but it was leaked, and it's really Arctic Monkeys vibes as well.
which one?
Holiday.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I begged my mom. This is so embarrassing, but because I'm not getting paid until the album comes out, right? Af- After the album comes out, so I said, "Mom, can you please buy Divine for me, the album for me, and I will pay you back." So when I was buying it, I actually I bought the one with like 2 more songs, I think it is, or 1 more song. I want to listen to those because I want to see why they were included in the album, in like the official track, and like see how, if there's a difference in like sound, maybe they didn't like go really well with what he wanted to like say.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I can't wait. It's so soon. Like when he has announced it, I was like, oh my God, it's going to be such a long time. But now it's like in 20 days or something.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, it feels so soon. I'm so ready. Like I've never been so ready for an album.
Me too.
And also, the week before, we're going to have My Policeman. So that's going to keep us
Oh my
entertained
God,
for a week.
yes.
And then it's going to come out and we're going to be, oh my God. Yes.
Yeah. This
This
is a month for the gays. I'm sorry, but like
Yes.
My Policeman, Louis, and I know there's something else coming, and I don't know. I'm not remembering right now, but I know there's something else.
Well, the sushi music video as well.
Yeah, as well. But I just
And
isn't
probably a new
for all
music
of us.
video from Louis. Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same as well.
So exciting.
Yeah,
This next month
course.
we're in for a lot.
Yes. I
Definitely.
actually have midterms in November, and I want to kill myself
Oh
Oh
no.
my
because
God.
midterms, I hate. Oh God, it's so annoying because it's like the whole from like July until the last day before the test. We have to study like 6 months worth of things.
Yes. Oh my God. Good luck
Thank
with your
you.
exam.
That's it for today. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Lara Weekly, and we hope you learned something new. And this will be a series, so there will be a second part of this episode because there is so much to talk about on this topic. So stay tuned for that. And if you want to be a part of this journey, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at the Live Weekly to keep up with all the podcast related news and exclusives. See you next Friday for a new refill.